a danger to the public. And so when you have things that are a danger to the public, we have these agencies to oversee things that affect the public.
In a world driven by Elon Musk's technological wonders, prepare for a revelation like no other. Musk, known for his daring ventures, has dropped a bombshell that defies belief. This isn't about rockets or electric cars. It's a revelation that shatters reality's boundaries. A revelation that has everyone questioning what's possible. Hold on tight as we dive into the heart of Elon Musk's shocking Rapture announcement, where the line between science and the supernatural vanishes. And the truth is more incredible than fiction. Elon Musk's revelation has stirred quite the controversy. He's made a striking claim about the Euphrates River, suggesting that it might dry up in the near future. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, the Euphrates River isn't just any river. It's got a rich history, and it's even mentioned in the Bible. You see, some folks have long been fascinated by biblical prophecies, especially those about the end of times. Jesus himself said that only God knows when he'll return and when a new generation will come. And this has led many to try and predict these events, and it sparked some intense debates. The Euphrates, a lifeline for countless societies, hasn't merely flowed through time. It's been entangled in the complex web of geopolitics. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1923, the Treaty of Lausanne beckoned Turkey, France, and the United Kingdom to harmonize their visions for water usage and infrastructure along the river. Following these deliberations, Iraq was granted permission to erect dams on Turkish soil. Meanwhile, Turkey embarked on the ambitious Southeastern Anatolia project in the 1970s, erecting dams to quench the thirst of fields and generate hydroelectric power. Yet as the concrete giants rose along the riverbanks, a darker undercurrent began to surface. Entire communities were uprooted in age-old villages. Repositories of culture and heritage were erased from existence. The alarm grew louder when the Euphrates River, the lifeblood of these regions, began to recede alarmingly. Turkey's actions, including reducing the water flow into Syria, had clearly breached agreements dating back to 1987. Recent photographic evidence has unveiled a stark reality. A significant stretch of the Euphrates River, once a lifeline for countless communities, now stands as a parched testament to environmental crisis. The dwindling water levels sound the alarm, from dwindling electricity production to shrinking arable land and the desperate quest for clean drinking water. Reports of widespread illness among the affected populations further darken the shadows of this impending catastrophe. In the autonomous region of North and East Syria, voices rise in plea, urging an end to Turkey's actions, for they foresee not only a humanitarian disaster, but also a dire threat to the millions of Syrians who call the Euphrates River their home. The authorities overseeing the dams have now resorted to international appeals, beseeching the world to intervene and curtail Turkey's actions. Even as geologists grapple with the perplexing enigma of the Euphrates' dwindling waters, another ominous specter looms. The United Nations paints a grim picture, warning of intensifying heat waves in the Mediterranean region, hinting at a bleak future for the river and the lands it nurtures. The decline of Lake Assad in Syria stands as a haunting testament to the perilous path we tread. Yet, the Euphrates River story transcends boundaries and treaties. It has etched itself into religious texts, most notably the Bible, where it is mentioned as one of the 4 rivers that flowed from the Garden of Eden, a sacred promise and a symbol of heritage. The Bible also whispers of the Euphrates' role in prophecy, particularly in Revelation chapter 16, verse 12, where it is foretold that the river will dry up as a prelude to the apocalyptic battle of Armageddon. Islamic traditions and the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad similarly allude to the Euphrates, suggesting that its drying will unveil treasures that ignite conflict and strife. As the Euphrates River stands at the precipice of an uncertain future, it is a confluence of science, religion, and geopolitics, a story that reverberates through time. The echoes of its significance in ancient text resonate in the halls of modernity, posing a haunting question. Are we on the brink of a monumental shift, one that carries the weight of biblical prophecy and the stark reality of a world in flux? The plight of the Tishrin Dam in Syria tells a haunting tale of the Euphrates River's struggle for survival. Turkey's actions, which have disrupted the flow of water into both Iraq and Syria, stand in stark violation of the 1987 agreement that sought to safeguard this vital resource, and the consequences of these declining water levels are nothing short of dire. The ancient texts of the Bible and Islamic hadiths intertwine with the destiny of the Euphrates River, painting a vivid tapestry of prophecy and forewarning. In the book of Revelation, precisely chapter 16, verse 12, a profound prophecy unfurls. It foretells the day when the Euphrates will run dry, a chilling harbinger of the fabled Battle of Armageddon. This biblical prophecy speaks of monumental significance, for it signifies not merely the parching of a river, but the clearing of the path for a celestial confrontation. An angel bearing a celestial chalice pours forth its contents, causing the river to recede. Contrary to the notion of water pollution or resource denial, this act symbolizes a pivotal moment in the narrative of the apocalypse. It signifies the dismantling of a protective barrier, paving the way for kings from the east to embark to a cataclysmic offensive. Yet the echoes of the Euphrates' fate extend beyond the pages of the Bible. Islamic hadiths, the recorded sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad, also weave a narrative around this venerable river. Some of the hadiths evoke a haunting imagery. The Euphrates, once a life-giving force, shall reveal hidden treasures as it dwindles. This revelation, far from a boon, shall serve as the catalyst for discord and conflict. People, it is foretold, will wage deadly battles over these treasures, leading to the grim prophecy that out of every 100, a staggering 99 will meet their demise in the violence that ensues. According to the Hadith, the Prophet Muhammad spoke of the Euphrates as a river of fate. He declared that the hour of reckoning shall not come to pass until the Euphrates, a great river of history, dries up, to unveil a mountain of gold, coveted by countless souls. In their desperate pursuit of this precious bounty, humanity shall be plunged into a relentless strife where the vast majority shall meet a grim end, and only a forlorn few may remain as witness to the aftermath. The Book of Revelation and the Islamic hadiths speak to us from the depths of time, echoing not just prophecies, but also a profound intertwining of geography, spirituality, and the inexorable march of destiny. As the Euphrates River stands at the brink of an uncertain future, it carries not just water, but the weight of a foretold fate, a narrative that spans across cultures and centuries, drawing us into a mystery that stretches beyond our understanding. The Euphrates River, stretching out over a colossal 2,000 miles, was more than just a waterway. It served as a natural boundary, carving out the eastern edge of Israel's territory. This mighty river stood as a formidable divide, marking the line between the Western world and the vast expanse of the East, where China and India lay. In the annals of history, the Euphrates River has often played a pivotal role. An ancient tale recounts the cunning strategy of Cyrus of Persia, who, with his army, diverted the Euphrates flow to conquer the mighty city of Babylon. This feat would go down in history as an audacious and successful military maneuver. Fast forward to the prophecies of the book of Revelation, and we find another chapter in the river's mystique. Revelation chapter 9, verse 14 speaks of an impending great tribulation, where an adversary from the east will cross the Euphrates River, traverse the ancient city of Babylon, and advance into the heart of Palestine. It's a prophetic vision that stirs contemplation. Further delving into this mysterious narrative, we encounter references to the great Euphrates River holding four bound angels, dwelling in chains of obscurity. These enigmatic events are laden with symbolism, hinting at the fulfillment of age-old biblical prophecies. The Euphrates Valley, where these angels are said to be held captive, is steeped in an aura of sin, possibly due to its proximity to the Garden of Eden, the scene of humanity's first tragic act, the murder of Abel. Some accounts even whisper of strange voices emerging from the drying river, perceived by some as a sign that a safe path is being forged. These events fuel fervent interpretations, with many seeing them as harbingers of Christ's return, a time when he shall vanquish adversaries and establish his heavenly reign. Adding depth to these prophetic narratives is the insight of Pastor Joseph Cabaletta, who in a 2022 gathering of the Watchman Ministries urged the people of Uganda to remain vigilant for signs of the end times. He claimed to unveil profound truths that shed light on intricate biblical prophecies. Kabbalah also pointed to the realization of certain predictions, such as the revival of the Dead Sea, a vision foretold in Ezekiel 47. The discovery of freshwater fish ponds along the Dead Sea shores stood as a tangible confirmation of this ancient prophecy, adding yet another layer to the ongoing saga of the Euphrates River's profound role in our collective spiritual and historical narrative. In the book of Ezekiel 38, a prophecy unfolds, foretelling a future conflict where a formidable coalition of nations, including Russia, China, and several Middle Eastern powers, will unite in opposition to Israel. The intensity of this battle is said to be cataclysmic, with far-reaching consequences, including the drying up of the Euphrates River. Similarly, the book of Revelation, specifically chapter 16, verse 12, also alludes to the drying up of the Euphrates River. In this prophetic narrative, God's judgments upon the world include the monumental event, where the significance lies in the idea that these prophecies are signs of the impending end times, a complex concept that intertwines belief, interpretation, and spirituality. The issue of the Euphrates River drying up is multifaceted, with numerous factors at play. While climate change, water overuse, and pollution likely contribute to its decline, the overlay of biblical prophecy adds a layer of deep significance for those who adhere to the Bible's teachings. It's important to note that there is no scientific consensus on whether the river's decline is directly linked to the end times. Scientific explanations attribute the issue to environmental factors. However, for those who subscribe to biblical beliefs, the drying of the Euphrates River holds profound importance, potentially signaling the culmination of a series of events preceding the end times. Ultimately, the interpretation of the Euphrates River's drying is a matter of faith and perspective. While some view it as a harbinger of biblical prophecy, others see it as a natural consequence of environmental changes. The river's fate, whether seen through a spiritual or scientific lens, remains a topic of deep contemplation and debate. So what are your thoughts on the Euphrates River drying up as mentioned in Elon Musk's recent revelation about the Rapture? Feel free to share your comments below and stay tuned for more updates by subscribing.